Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone and welcome to Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite new animated series, Young Justice. It's actually not that new anymore, but I've been talking about it a few times and I still notice that some people say they can't get into it. I gotta tell you, it's one of the most character-driven, deep, emotional, story-driven animated shows that I've ever seen, and the animation is fantastic. The characters are great. It's in depth. I love watching it. And now we have the new DC Nation block, which comes on with Green Lantern and Young Justice. And in between and in the beginning, they have little cartoons starring such favorites as Teen Titans. And now we also have Super Best Friends Forever, which is Batgirl, who isn't super, Supergirl. I think Catwoman's involved somewhere, and we also have Wonder Girl. Very fun. They're funny and they're fun. I saw something about Baby Superman. People were making fun of DC for not even knowing the origins of their own characters, but I watched the little short, and it was actually very funny. It was kind of a send-up of some of the old Japanese-style cartoons where they would just make up their own story and go with it, but it was based on something famous that everybody knew was wrong, but that's okay, and it was very interesting and very funny, and it's just a cute little thing. The Plastic Man, if you haven't seen it, is hilarious. It's my favorite one so far. He takes on all these forms, and it's a comedy. It's very good. But the DC Nation block so far is really it's got me. I mean, I was in there with Young Justice to begin with. The most recent episode of Young Justice was a Flash star, Kid Flash, had a special mission to go on where he had to get a heart donation to a transplant, a girl who needed a transplant in another city. And it was going to take him too much time to get there, and he had to get there as soon as he could. He had a 4-hour time limit or something like that. Meanwhile, he was trying, some villains were trying to stop him from getting there, and the reason was that the uncle of the girl who was dying was next in line to take over a country in the Middle East, a fictional country in the Middle East. The little girl was the queen there, and he was hoping that she would die. Kid Flash does some really cool things in the episode. It's also very emotional, very deep, and very character-driven. I'm not embarrassed to admit that I found myself welling up several times. So if you can't get into this show, or you didn't think that you could, maybe you should give it another shot, because again, it is very emotional, very story-driven, very character. There's a lot of purpose behind it, and the animation is great. One complaint that I have made before, and I will make again, that is that Batman, of course, is the lead grown-up. He's in almost every episode, whether it's by voice or whether you see him, and that's because he's the guy who tells the Young Justice team what to do and where to go, which is okay in theory. Every once in a while you see another hero. Captain Marvel has been featured many times, Black Canary as well, and last week Green Arrow was on, but he was in his Oliver guise. The problem here is, in the DC Nation block, they show all the characters, and they show Batman pretty much front and center, but Wonder Woman and Superman to the left and right of him, as if they play a very important role in the DC Nation block. Now, maybe there's more to come, but this is definitely the animation that they use on Young Justice. So I'm wondering why Superman has been not only moved to the back burner, but pretty much non-existent on the show. In the episode that I was just talking about, there are some giant weather machines that are causing blizzards all over the country, and this is so that the Justice League is distracted while the villains try to stop Kid Flash. And they show several different teams from the Justice League trying to take these down, but they never show Superman. They never mention Superman. They don't show Wonder Woman, the two most powerful members of the team, debatably, and they're not even involved. Kid Flash is told he has to go on this special mission because the Justice League is going to be busy with dealing with this, and they can't do it. But isn't the Justice League kind of centered by Superman, at least traditionally? And if he's not the leader and he's not the center, he's still very vital and very powerful. So where was he? What is he always doing? I mentioned this in another episode. One of the biggest things that's going on the Earth, and he's nowhere. Where is he at? It's not possible to explain that he's in another solar system like they did in the Supergirl movie every single time. But they haven't even tried an explanation. He's just not there, and it looks bad. And also, the relationship between he and the clone Superboy was not handled well thus far. I could see Superman being a little bit uncomfortable with the whole situation, but he's a guy who faces adversity. He's a guy who deals with problems or deals with emotional instances when they need to be dealt with. And next week's episode, it looks to be a Superboy episode where Connor discovers that there is another clone, and it looks suspiciously like him. My guess is it's just a little bit more bizarre. So hopefully we see some more of the relationship between he and maybe Superman will actually make an appearance. Thanks for watching, everybody, and if you're not watching DC Nation, get on it. Green Lantern is also very, very good. It's dark. It's a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be, which is great. Remember, everyone, I'm Scotty V, and I'm out of here.